And we're live once again on another Tuesday, and I have a new guest in the house today. I have Bettina, and she's dialing in. She's coming all the way, beaming in from Britain. She's beaming from
I've
Britain
beamed
today.
in. Yeah, that's it.
I love it. And
I'm
it's like
here.
it's morning in Las Vegas, it's evening in Britain. So,
Yeah.
Bettina, talk about who you are, what you do, so that everybody knows you, and then we'll jump into our topic today.
Fantastic, Gillian. Thanks for inviting me as well for this chat. It's been great. So basically, my company name is B2B Solutions, and I started 7 years ago. But initially, the reason I sort of started really was I did lots of marketing and I needed to get lots of clients. So LinkedIn helped me tremendously. And my target market was CEOs at the time and directors and managers. So I then decided to sort of, speak to all of those people, and I got lots of projects and lots of work from it. So I wanted to help small businesses, medium and large businesses to show them how to grow on LinkedIn, because I had, such a great sort of community, lots of people helping me, lots of support as well on LinkedIn. And that's what it's fantastic for, basically.
It is. It is. I love it. I love it. So we're going to talk today about LinkedIn, not just for B2B, because we're going to bust some LinkedIn myths. So the first myth, of course, is it's just a job hunting place. Well, we already know that. It's like, B2B does excellent on LinkedIn. But B2C, some people are like, oh, no, I would go back to Facebook or Instagram for that. B2C doesn't make it on LinkedIn. But we're going to bust that myth today and say, yes, B2C can work on LinkedIn. And Bettina, you had mentioned that you have a couple of clients that would be in that B2C area. And so let's just maybe talk about some of them. You don't have to name them. We can just talk about them in general. And, let's just talk about B2C. Can it work on LinkedIn? Yes or no? What's your opinion?
I think it can definitely work on LinkedIn. A couple of years ago, I went for a coffee with a colleague who just started her own business. She won't mind me mentioning her. I think she's going to pop on at some point
Okay, great.
in this to join us. But her name's Wendy White. She runs a great company called My Mood Stars, and it's for primary school age children, special needs children as well, learning support children, all sorts. And she does a wonderful product to do with My Mood Stars. And basically they stick onto a board, and she changed the colours and things like that, different boards. Anyway, so we sat and had a coffee, and she said to me, Bettina, I think, LinkedIn's not for me. It's too many big businesses. I don't think my company, my business would work on there. I think I'm more Facebook, Instagram. It's more consumer. Why do you think it would work? I really don't want to go on it. And I said, Wendy, listen, you need to go on there. You need to start posting. See what happens. I said, there's a massive audience. There's lots of, there's the education sector on there, public sector, potential clients. There's, obviously teachers, parents, high profile people, which are all parents, all have children, and they can be your potential customers. So she said, okay, I'll give it a go. And she said, what do I post? I said, just be you. Be you behind the business. So she did like an avatar of herself, similar to John Esprin, who's a LinkedIn trainer. So she did a bit of a similar sort of character, and she sort of adapted it and made it look and edited it, made it look like obviously her thing and her behind the business. And it was brilliant. And the amount of traction she gets, the amount of engagement she gets from all sorts of different, potential clients and people that have bought from her. And she's also shown some really sort of emotional sort of posts about her life story and all sorts of things. And people have empathized towards that. She's done some really funny posts, added lots of humor because she's a great character. And it's worked. It's really worked. Nice. And she has got a really great audience on there.
I love that. And basically you've kind of like shared the secret sauce right with this story, because number one, if your target market, if your ideal customer is on LinkedIn, then you should be on LinkedIn. So in her
Absolutely.
instance, people are parents, and,
Yeah.
and it's like you look at
Yeah.
this whole sort of COVID time, and parents were all of a sudden having to homeschool their children, and they didn't know how to do that. And so, this was a perfect time where all of a sudden it's like, yes, I might be a stockbroker, that's my job. But if I'm a mother and I'm looking for stuff for my kids, well, then like I'm going to be on LinkedIn. I'm going to see that stuff. And I always think that the consumer stuff kind of stands out because we're not expecting that. So that's kind of cool. But I love too that you talked about the diversity of her content, that she didn't just come on and like throw up ads, because I think that's
No.
probably the biggest mistake that a B2C company does, is that they come on LinkedIn and all they do is throw on their ads, and then they go, LinkedIn doesn't work for me. But they don't understand about it's about building those relationships and being personal. So you shared all the different kind of content she was doing, that there was funny stuff, there was personal stuff. That's what you want to do, not just buy my stuff. It's like, get to know me, let me get to
Exactly.
know you. So
Mix it up, make it different. Don't just do pure business. Mix it up with a bit of personal, because it's just her and it's just me. They need to get me to know me behind the business. So it's the know, like, and trust scenario,
yeah,
really. And how else do they get to know you unless you open up a bit? It's hard sometimes to do it. It's not always easy, but once you start doing it, you start to realize, actually, this is great. People are reacting. People are giving me engagement. And it really worked with quite a lot of her posts. But I did mentor her initially through it to help
nice.
her. There are a lot of people that I know, because I have a Facebook group of over 600 businesses, and
Wow.
quite a few of them are unsure how to market themselves on LinkedIn. And I think often they need a bit of mentoring, because they think, oh, this isn't Facebook. They don't want to be like Facebook, but they're scared to actually post on LinkedIn. And they
Sure.
shouldn't be, because we're all, really sort of, quite welcoming people. We're very much personable people, and we want to help each other's businesses. Now, I agree not to sell. I've never, ever in my training said straight away do spam or sell or
Yeah.
anything like that, or even direct message. Although when I initially started, I have to say, the business, and I did sort of build rapport up with some of those CEOs and directors, it was through the one-to-ones, but I still did
Yes.
post content as well. But there's also another lady who does makeup. She does very good quality
Ah,
makeup. And she again started posting, and she said she sold some of her products on here.
wow.
Because you've got to think, we all wear makeup, right? So
Right.
we all wear jewelry, we all wear that. So if you do it in the right way, the content, and you do it sort of quality, rather than in the way of just advertising, as you said, it is so easy, to be able to do it. And you can just sort of tell stories, give an analogy, and then with a business twist in it, make it interesting. And people will be interested. And if you think, all the big brands are on here, aren't
Yep.
they?
Yep.
You've got Nike on here, you've got Amazon, you've got plenty,
Coca-Cola, all the biggies.
Coca-Cola, yeah, all the big sort of consumers. So therefore, why can't the smaller businesses be on here as well?
Exactly. And, you
So
think of somebody like who is doing makeup, and it's like you could be doing tips. So you could be talking about, if you're doing videos or you're doing LinkedIn lives, how would you apply that makeup? Should men wear makeup? Who needs makeup? How much makeup? And people would be like, "Oh, that will help me." And then they see that, and then they're like, "Well, I want to use what you're using. That's good
yeah,
stuff. How do I get it?"
absolutely.
So it's a really indirect way of selling, and and you can do it with like even local things. So do you know of anybody who does LinkedIn, like a B2C that's local? Have you ever come across any of those?
What do you mean, like
Like a restaurant or a florist?
I mean, basically, there was a lady who did workshops that were like cooking kind of workshops. So there
Ooh.
were more demonstrations. And she's absolutely brilliant. She's been on the BBC, she's been on
Oh, wow.
television, she's been, on lots of different things. And she goes in and does workshops for corporates. So her
Ah,
target market, again, is on LinkedIn as well. And she's done very well from LinkedIn. So she came to me, this was back in the early days when I first started training. And she said to me, "Oh, yeah, can you train me?" And I said, yeah, no problem. So I went through her profile and the usual basics of LinkedIn and content and all of that. And she's written her own recipe books. She's done plenty of recipe books, and she's done all about sort of I think it's hot pots and things like that, and all different and all real food, like good food that's
mm.
healthy food. In my VIP groups, I've got a LinkedIn for Success members group. I have a nutritionist, Jane Webber, who's absolutely fantastic. She joined the group 6 months ago, and I said to her, and Nick Rayburn and yourself will love this. I said straight away, put video on there. Do video.
Yes.
Are you sure, Bettina? I don't want to do video. She said, I don't want to. I said, honestly, just be brave. Do 3 videos this week. See how you get on. So she did a video every day, a short video for 1 or 2 minutes, sharing her tips about nutrition.
Right.
And she received a client from it. Straight away they joined her members group, and so she's got a regular client from that. So it definitely,
Fabulous.
yeah.
Fabulous. And you're right. You're right. And that's probably a good tip for anybody that is in the B2C. Video is awesome because it gives people that doorway into seeing what it is that you do, and it makes it really, really visual. I see that we have some comments. Let's hop over and get some of these comments. So we have Gabe joining us. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
And
Gabe.
and we have Brendan. Brendan's in the house. I don't know if you've connected with Brendan, but he's an awesome
Oh,
public
hi,
speaking coach.
Brendan.
He is absolutely awesome.
Fantastic.
Yay, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yes.
Share part of your personal side and show yourself being really authentic with your audience.
Absolutely.
That
I
is
couldn't
such a
agree
great tip.
more. Being authentic is so important. And the thing about these businesses that I've been training is they are so authentic, each one is individual in itself. There's a lady, I've had some really unusual ones. I've had a Paralympic who's come to me and she said, she's won all these gold medals, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible, Naomi. It's Naomi Riches. She's absolutely fantastic. But she's no longer doing Olympics anymore, Paralympics anymore. So she wants to be a motivational speaker. So she came to me and she said, "Can you train me, Bettina, and go through my profile and everything else?" And her story is amazing. Absolutely, honestly, it's just, if you go and listen to it, it's a really great story. But anyway, and she's done really well from LinkedIn. If you look at some of her posts, she's had so much traction, and it's all about her story, her behind the business again, and people showing empathy with her posts. Obviously her going out, because she's a Paralympic with rowing, so it's showing her doing rowing and things like that as well, locally in our area in Berkshire. And again, she's done incredibly well. So it's been quite diverse, the type of businesses that I have trained. Some, there's all types of people that need LinkedIn, and I think it's growing all the time. Oh, hi, Wendy.
So
She's
is that
joining.
Wendy? Is that Wendy that we were talking about
Yeah, that's
earlier?
Wendy White. Yes, my mood
Awesome.
stars. I was just talking
Awesome.
about you, Wendy, actually. I was just saying to Gillian about your mood stars and how fantastic they are.
That's fun.
And how initially you did not want to go on LinkedIn. It was not your thing at the beginning. And then we talked about it, and now you're just posting away and you're doing some wonderful posts.
That's
Absolutely
awesome.
fantastic posts
That's
as
awesome.
well.
That's awesome. Okay, we've got Tina coming in
Oh,
from
hello,
Belgium.
Tina.
Hello, Tina. Hello. It's so important to show some personality and build relationships. That is so
Couldn't
true,
agree
that it's
more.
like like you said earlier, we buy from people that we know, like, and trust. And part of that is allowing people to enter your world, know a little bit about you. And it's up to you how much you want to share. Some people are like, they're
Yes.
not
Yes.
comfortable. They don't really
No.
want to share personal stuff. But the thing is that you can always share within the framework of your business. So you don't have to, open up about your entire personal life, but maybe you want to talk about your business journey. Why do you do what you do? What kind of people do you help? What are some of the questions that people ask you about? These all make for great content for B2C and B2B.
Absolutely, for
It's
both,
for
both.
everyone.
Really is for both. And I think, as you said, you don't have to mix up. You can do a great story, an interesting story, and people will resonate to it. I know this sales trainer at the moment, and he's got so much engagement. And he's posting lots of like little videos, like GIFs and all sorts of things like that. But his story is his opinions about when he worked in sales. Like some of them, I'd say, my goodness, and he's getting quite a lot of reaction from it. But he's saying it works really well from him, and it's quite positive. So why not, if it's working for you? Keep going with it. I say definitely.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now she loves LinkedIn. So that's really good. That's really good. And
She does. She loves LinkedIn. She's absolutely fantastic. I mean, she's getting more engagement than I am. I mean, she's amazing. I mean, her stories and her humor is just incredible. I mean, she brightens up everyone's day. So it's very good. But I think, for me, if I was giving tips about content right now for a B2C, is to try and tell your story, whether it's to do with business or whether it's opening up on a personal side, is sort of leveraging those hashtags. So making sure that you get the right sort of hashtags and the right number of hashtags in there, connecting with the right people, really important, building those relationships, building up a rapport with people, engaging with as many people as you can per day, making sure they're the right people that you want to engage with. And tag as well, try and tag those brand names in if you're a consumer, it might help.
yes.
For example, I said to Wendy, why don't you tag John Lewis? They're a big, department store. Why not tag them? That sort of helps as well. Then other people will sort of see her posts as well.
Yes.
And
how would you suggest, so for B2C, sometimes the hardest part is about identifying how do they grow their network. And that's some of the things that I've sometimes noticed with B2C. They get on and they're like, okay, I don't really know who I should be connecting with. So what are your recommendations to help them expand their network and grow their network? What kind of tips do you give for that?
My tip would be, think of 10 words that describe your ideal clients and really go down to the nitty-gritty. So think of their age, think of where they would work, what they would do, what gender are they. Just think of all the things that you think will describe them. So there's all those key words that you'll get on LinkedIn that you'll find in people's profiles. So by searching for those key words, those people will start coming up, or whether it's by their posts, the way that you can engage in, or whether it's by the ideal connection. And then to engage in their post initially, and then to connect with them if you're building up sort of rapport with them by engagement. So I think, it's quite easy. I mean, say for someone like, Wendy, I'd say, she's got her whole audience could be her clients.
Right.
She could be a HR director. It could be a marketing manager. Or then it could be, it could be parents as a keyword, or it could be a teacher, a primary school teacher, or learning support keyword. So there's so much choice to find, people basically.
True.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of content? Like when you sit down and plan out your content, do you lean towards text posts, graphics, videos? I know you do a lot of lives, and you kind of you do sometimes like serial lives, like in a row and stuff like that. What's sort of your preferred content?
Well, the lives, Gillian, is just I thought I'd give it a go. I saw, I thought, oh, this might be quite good if I get, but this is the first time I've done that sort of sequence with lives. But I do quite like lives. I do enjoy them. They are my sort of thing, actually, because I did a lot of them on Facebook. So I quite enjoy sort of being behind the sort of camera and all that sort of thing. I do like video. I think videos, again, it's fantastic. I think sometimes clips of things, not always just of us talking, but actually of something you're seeing that you think your audience might find really interesting. For example, I've got a travel counsellor in my group, and she's just been away to Paris. But so she's taken a video of the train, the Eurostar, just literally just going fast, just Eurostar going or whatever. But she's had so much engagement just from that little clip of movement. And I thought, brilliant,
because we all want to get out. We're all sick of being in the house, so we all want to get on the Eurostar and get out.
I think that's what it is. I mean, I have seen a change of posts. It's constantly changing, like with the pandemic, people were, sending out lots of posts of their pets and their dogs and their cats and or memes. Memes seem to be quite in at the moment, I think, memes. And tips. I think educating people is good, but I don't want to do too much of that. I like to mix it up. I do like to put a little bit about what I'm doing of a weekend, and then incorporate it with a bit of a story. I think a call to action helps. I think you have to have a post for a reason, and you have to steer them towards something. So I think. But that's probably my marketing side coming out there, I would have thought.
It's a must. It's a must because, essentially people, they need to be prodded. They need to be nudged along, what to do next. And even if it's like, connect with me, send me a DM, put a comment below. It's like we have to encourage people because otherwise they're just like, oh, okay. And then boom, they're on to the next thing. And you want to basically you want to start the relationship going. So always do that. That's
absolutely. But I think your videos, with sort of a lovely kind of banner and all, I think that all looks great. And I love the way, you're sort of consistent with your videos as well. And you're putting a bit of a character on there and all of that. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, just superb. But yeah,
my greatest creativity. I made a shout out video for a master kilt maker, Paula Duncan, and I made a little video for her. She's in Scotland and she's B2C, so I wanted to give her a little shout. And my biggest thing was doing a kilt for my Bitmoji. That was just like, how am I going to pull that off? And I have to say, you can do anything with Canva. You can do anything. So I want to ask you about, so you have a Facebook group that does really well. And this seems to be the deal that people are on LinkedIn with Facebook groups to support their LinkedIn.
I know.
And I totally understand. I'm not dissing you at all, but I'm asking, what are some of the things that if like you could ask LinkedIn to make the LinkedIn groups, what do you have on Facebook in your group that you can't have on LinkedIn? What does LinkedIn need to improve?
Well, it needs the lives. It needs a live in a private group. I think that's the key. That would really honestly help. And I think it will happen. I do, because they've got lives now and more people are getting lives sort of for their personal accounts and things like that. I think that they will get it for individual groups as well. I think, groups, somehow the algorithm needs to work better with it. I think people need to see those posts coming in. And I think what happened with Facebook initially, it was the business page that went really well. It was working incredibly well. And then all of a sudden, obviously, lots of things went on with Facebook, sort of politics and what have you. It was more the groups that he sort of decided, Mark Zuckerberg decided should work better. So he worked on the groups because they're more private. So I don't know whether that's probably his strategy behind it, to not make business quite so open using the business page. So I suppose for LinkedIn, they don't have that problem at the moment. So therefore they think, where you may also sort of post out to everyone.
Right.
But if it did change, it would be good to have the groups more active. I mean, I must say, I think John's group's doing really well. I think
It's
he's definitely,
amazing.
he's got lots of traction going on in it. But you have to work quite hard in it to do it, I think, initially. But I think if you've got a good email list, it helps. And then those people will then go into the group. I haven't worked on LinkedIn groups quite as much because I do like to go live. I like to talk to my audience.
That's amazing. Yes.
As
And
opposed
you
to,
yeah. Now, do you do native lives, like using the Facebook Live and going natively into Facebook, or do you use like a third-party tool like StreamYard and go into your Facebook group and then go
I
live?
use Zoom actually. I tend to
Oh,
use Zoom and
okay.
live stream into it. I find Zoom just easier in that way because then I can share slides if I need to, or I can interview people like we're doing now. But StreamYard is a good way. I need to upgrade. I think the key for me is because LinkedIn Live's quite new for me.
Right.
And I was like so overjoyed to get it. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I can't believe I got it because I've applied for it about 7 times, and I was like, I remember sort of moaning to some of the trainers, when am I going to get it? It's like, so, and then all of a sudden I just had it. It just came. So I was so pleased to actually get the live. But yeah, I mean, I think I will consider trying to stream to both at some point, definitely.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
totally. And I think you do it from YouTube as well, don't you? So which I think is even better.
I don't do anything with Facebook anymore. I hate to say it, but I totally gave up on Facebook. So I have
No.
basically just my dog videos, to friends and family. That's all I do on Facebook. I don't do anything for business, but I'm very, very active on YouTube because I am the Google goddess. And if you want to be found on Google, you got to be on YouTube. And so I co-stream to LinkedIn and YouTube because why not? Just get more bang for your buck.
Absolutely. I might need some lessons from you on that. So to work out how to, because I would love to do that, But I do agree with you. I do think there's a dip with Facebook. I think, I use something else called Member Vault, which is like a sort of third party thing. And I think you can go through YouTube with it. So I think should anything ever go wrong with Facebook, I will definitely move my group over to something like Member Vault, and then hopefully if LinkedIn groups go well, I will actually try and transfer them over to there as well. But I suppose a lot of my I do workshops and I do programs and I do. Oh look, Deborah's just joined us. She's the makeup lady that I was telling you about.
Perfect.
Yes.
Everybody go check out Deborah's tips.
Do check out Deborah. Yes, Deborah, do. Oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, she does quite a bit on Facebook as well. But you've done quite well on LinkedIn though, haven't you, Deborah? I think you said you've sold quite a few products on here. And you've got some really good connections as well, I believe.
Great.
But no, Facebook's good for its communities. It really is, I think, and I hopefully it will keep going.
Yes.
But yes,
what are your thoughts on company pages for B2C?
I think they're doing well. I think business pages are starting to be on the up. I can see more engagement and traction going on with that. I have seen a lot of people curating posts. So that's more where they're taking it from someone else and crediting that person, but they're adding these short clips. I don't know if you've noticed that, from all sorts of different things. Like, I don't know if there's some VR thing going on, like virtual reality or something, or little things. And then they're putting a bit of a caption to it. It's quite cleverly done. And they've done that on their business page. And they seem to get a lot of engagement from it. I think it's because a lot of companies like entertaining, especially big companies. So they like these short clips of something that's currently in at the moment. If there's a new bit of tech or something, or gaming thing or whatever it is. But and they also like a bit of humor as well on it. But yeah, so I have noticed that through some of the posts that have been going out. But I think the business pages definitely are on the up, without a doubt.
And they're and then the nice thing too is this is what I kind of found was a bit of a boost. I follow the companies that I use their products. So for instance, Zoom and Canva and, Clipchamp and all the caption, I'm the queen of captions. So all the captioning people, I follow all of those so that when I go to write a post, if I mention them, then I give them a mention in the post because you can mention companies. And it's really nice when those companies, come back and talk with you because I think that's a really great place to be noticed
Amazing.
because nobody's
Yeah.
interacting very much with a company post. So if you can, you're kind of like
Yeah.
seen above the noise. So
Yeah,
I love it.
I totally think engaging in business posts is a good way to go. So say if you're trying to think about trying to get more of the bigger businesses and you think, well, how do I
Yeah,
do that to start actually engaging in those business posts? Definitely really can help a lot. And also
absolutely.
even tagging them if there's like say for example on Instagram, you can tag that brand, like say if it's Marks and Spencer's or you're wearing an item that's from Nike, or you're wearing those trainers or something like that, you can tag them in on Instagram, and you can actually do that on here now as well. So
Yes,
it's probably quite a good idea sometimes to do that, because then you'll get your
absolutely.
post even more noticed from more people. So I mean, do you find engaging with high followers helps as well? So say people that have really high followings and engaging in their posts, do you find that does increase your
Everybody.
connections?
Everybody. And the biggest tip that I give to everybody is comment back on the comments. That's the number one place for me. It's like I never ignore a comment, even if I'm up all night.
Yeah.
I go back and because that to me is where the relationships are found. And
Yeah.
I have met and connected with so many people from comments, and not just on my posts, on other people's posts. If I see something and it's like, wow, I agree with that, or I think that's a really cool thing.
Commenting's so
Yeah,
important.
it
So
adds to the
important.
conversation. And that is a really awesome way to grow your network
Really.
because
Yeah.
that's an indication that those people are active on LinkedIn. And that's what
Yeah.
we want. We want active people.
I
So
think in,
I see we've come up to the 30-minute mark. So I'm going to go ahead and let's usually we only go about 30 minutes. So
okay.
I want to give you the last word. So on our topic, what sort of your sage advice, what kind of thoughts do you want to leave everybody with today?
I think if you're business to consumer, definitely engage with those ideal connections. Make as many comments as you can on posts that resonate to you. Look at the brand names as well. Compile some great sort of content. Mix it up. Don't just stick to one type of content. Make sure you're spacing things out as well on your posts, and ask great questions to
Mhm.
bring in your audience so that they can resonate to it.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us
My
today,
pleasure. My
Bettina,
pleasure.
and we'll see everybody next week. Okay. Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
very much. Thank you. Bye.